Welcome to Housing for Good, a podcast dedicated to housing topics and issues affecting our communities in McPherson County and beyond. With years of experience and expertise, hosts Chris Goodson and Karolyn Moore discuss housing challenges and opportunities with other experts from a variety of housing fields.
Good afternoon and welcome to Housing for Good. I'm Karolyn.
And I'm Chris.
And we are so glad you joined us today. Chris, what news do we have?
Well, we got several things going on. Brush Up Mac's going to be in the spring, so we should have applications for volunteers and people that need our assistance in January.
Yep, that's right.
So that's going to be, Brush Up Mac's my favorite day. I say this every single time, but it's just so fun to see the community come together and be able to keep seniors in their homes. That's my favorite day of the whole year, even better than Christmas. I just love helping people.
The thing I love about it is that we hit it really hard at the beginning and you're done by noon.
Yeah, awesome.
And then you still got the rest of your day. So, okay, the other thing that we wanted to let everybody know about was Chris and I went to Salina and we spoke to a group of women with the League of Women Voters.
That was so much fun.
Do you know they're going to send us the recording they made?
Really?
So we can put it on our Facebook page and our Housing Coalition page.
Do we really want to see ourselves on video?
Well, we don't want to watch it, but other people like to listen to what we have to say.
Okay.
That's why we do these podcasts, And then the third thing, here in October, we hosted a lunch and learn for elected officials.
State legislators. I think we're going to have some federal legislators, or at least their representatives be there.
Yeah.
We should have some city people, maybe some county people from across the area. I'm really excited about this to be able to share with them what we're doing, why it's needed.
And just keeping the conversation about housing and services going.
Yes.
So today we are joined by Leslie Guinn and CASA. Leslie, introduce yourself and tell us about your organization.
Hi, I'm Leslie Guinn. I'm the Executive Director of CASA, Voice for Children. I also have Ashton Hiddle. She's my volunteer supervisor. CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate. We find volunteers and they advocate for children who have been abused and neglected that are in foster care.
I love what they do.
I
think it is the coolest thing ever to have somebody just specifically advocating for our kids.
It's very much needed.
It is. It's got to be very rewarding as well.
It is.
Okay, so you mentioned your volunteer organizer. How many volunteers do you guys have?
We currently have 23 volunteers.
Wow. From all over the place? Are they mostly?
We serve Harvey and McPherson counties.
Wow.
So 23 advocates in 2 counties. How many kids are you working with?
In McPherson County alone, we probably have over 100 kids that are in foster care.
Oh, wow.
So we are very, very low on volunteers.
You're advocating for 100 kids? Or
we would like to.
Or is that just a portion? You just do a portion
We
of that
just do
number?
a portion.
So none of the kids that you work with are really what I would consider stably housed. I mean, they are in foster care and they'd probably have 2 parents or at least one parent there who was helping to work with them. But
correct. Our main goal is reintegration, is to find the kids a safe, permanent home as fast as we can. We would love for them to go back to their parents.
Okay.
That's
now there's a lot of questions going through my brain.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to ask you.
These are not the questions on the list.
So
They're not. They're not.
Yeah.
But
we won't make it too hard. We won't make it too difficult.
So now I want to say, how do you get involved? Like, give me the steps of how CASA becomes involved with a family, with children, with the situation.
So to be a volunteer, there is a training. We do about 12 hours of training. It's a pretty significant notebook. It covers everything from the signs of abuse, child abuse, physical, mentally, emotional, sexual abuse. It covers domestic violence. It covers divorce. It covers anything and everything you could possibly need to know about the court system. And then once they are fully trained and we do background checks, then throughout this process, we ask them what kind of case they feel like they could deal with or something they cannot handle. Like if it's a lot of volunteers, like I have a kid, a 5-year-old, I don't want a 5-year-old understand.
Okay.
Or they can't handle sexual abuse, or they can't handle the physical abuse, so we find cases that we feel will fit for them. We type up a scenario. We can't use any children's names. Mm-hmm. We can just say if it's a boy or a girl and the age. And then we type up why they came into care, and then we let the volunteer choose which case they want. We give them about 3 different choices.
Okay.
And then once they choose their case, they get appointed by the judge. They get a court order saying that they have access to all the child's information. They can call the doctor, they can call the social worker, they can call the therapist, they can call the school, eye doctor, anybody that's involved in the child's life, and get information. So that way the volunteer has as much information as they can about the child, and they can move forward with what the child's needs are.
Karolyn, did you have any idea this is what they were doing?
No.
I had no idea what they did at all. This is not what I thought you did. What an incredible mission.
You know that
you
iceberg scenario where what you see above the surface
Yes.
is like just the tip?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is way more than I thought. So
Yeah.
do your volunteers actually meet with the kids then
Yes.
and talk with them?
Yes. State requirements, or the requirements, is that the volunteer meet with the child at least once a month. I always tell our volunteers I'd prefer more because you're not going to get to know anybody once a month.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, a lot of the kids that come into foster care may not stay in their home community. We have foster kids all over the state of Kansas, Garden City, Dodge City, Kansas City, Wichita. I mean, they get moved all over. So sometimes it's difficult for our volunteers to see them in person. So we offer Zoom, FaceTime, anything like that. But they have to lay eyes on their kid at least once a month.
So not only are you providing advocates for the kids, but then we have the other scenario where there's not enough foster parents. Is that true?
That is
as well?
very correct.
So you're saying basically that these kids that from McPherson County are being sent all over the state
Yes.
because we don't have enough foster parents to
Yes.
take them in.
Yes.
Wow, that is just
Yeah, kind of mind-boggling.
it's mind-boggling.
So how many kids can one advocate work with?
This is why CASA is so important. As a social worker working another agency, their caseloads are probably anywhere to 30 to 40 cases.
Wow.
And an advocate has 1 case.
wow.
That usually is a family. And depending on how many children there are, like 1 or 2, an advocate cannot have more than 5 kids without special request. Like they have to ask for it, and then I have to grant it, or I have to go through the state and ask if they can have more.
Wow.
So, like right now, we have a few volunteers that have 2 cases, but one family has 1 kid and one family has 2 kids.
Okay.
And those are more our veteran CASAs, the ones that have been doing it for years.
So you need lots of volunteers.
We need a lot of
So how
volunteers.
many did you say again? You have how many volunteers do you have?
23.
And you have 100 kids?
We just have 100 probably in McPherson County.
That's what I mean. I'm just talking about McPherson County.
Yeah.
So
they
you're
cover 2 counties.
So you're short that many volunteers? What is that?
A lot.
78,
70, 80
or something?
volunteers?
That's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, we need volunteers.
Wow.
Okay.
Also in McPherson, we just started what is called CRB, our Citizens Review Board. It was in McPherson years ago, and then I don't know what happened, but we've started it back up. We also need volunteers for that. It is for cases that are kind of not really moving forward. We bring them in. We have volunteers. We bring in the parents. We bring in attorneys, teachers, social workers, whoever is involved in the child's life, and just kind of ask how things are going and ask what barriers parents have and what resources we can provide to them to get over those barriers. More of like a roundtable discussion with the parents.
Okay.
And then I write a court report after that and submit it to the court. And we make recommendations, whether it's they need more family therapy or mom needs more time alone, or, whatever we feel like is appropriate.
Yeah.
And then if the attorneys don't object to it, then it becomes court orders.
Okay. So, wow. Does housing ever play a part in that?
We have a lot of families that have to move frequently because it's not stable, or they can't afford rent, or they can't provide for the children. And that's why, some kids get taken just from neglect because they can't afford it.
So we have a permanent supportive housing project that we're building, 1, 2, and 3 building. It's called the Sutherland Estates. Have you heard of it at all? So basically what will happen is we'll take our low-income families. They'll be able to move in and only pay 30% of the rent and utilities of their income. So you say you make $100,000. That would be a ridiculous amount. But 30%
That would be
of
great.
that.
I would love that.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. And it seems to me like that could be a real good partnership with what you're doing in some ways.
That
if
would
we
be
can
great.
stably house the families. The
That
other
would
cool
solve some
part about it,
problems.
yes, is that we can pay for mental health, legal
That would
assistance.
be nice.
All of the things that these families need. So not only are you stably housing the family, but you're also
Providing resources.
and everything else that child needs.
It's nice.
I think this is a cool,
I love
another
this
cool
program.
extension of what's going on
What
there.
if they don't have an income, or they don't keep employment? A lot of our families get employment, but then a vehicle breaks down or they can't make it in or their kid has so many appointments that they can't make it to work.
So that is part of what we work with them to do, is to figure out, why are you struggling to keep your homes and stay stably housed, and what do we need to do to help you overcome those barriers? Because the truth of the matter is, if you can't work, you can't support your family. So what do we need to do to help you keep that job, to be able to support your family? And that's what we're all about, trying to help families do, is become stable.
That's amazing.
You know, we hear from a lot of our families that we work with that are homeless. Well, if I go to DCF and ask for help, they're going to take my kids away just because I'm homeless. And we're like, no, that can't be the only reason they take your kids, but let's get you housed and let's start moving forward with what you need to have to be stable. Because the next step then, if people can't get stably housed, there's other things going on. And at that point, that's when you guys get notified, or you guys start getting involved.
The other thing that we have is our tiny home project. Have you seen the Oak Harbor Cottages? Are you familiar with their shelter? She is familiar with their shelter. No. So we have a non-congregate emergency shelter that families can go to if they're homeless or imminently homeless. And we've had several families there that are trying to get reintegrated into getting their kids reintegrated. And so that's like the last piece that they need. And so we work really closely with this whole system, but it's so great to know that you're there.
That is so nice.
Because if we can partner together
that
with
would be
you,
great.
I mean, it's like, wow, what a difference we could,
that's
a little
huge.
bit of part that we can do working with you, getting that. I mean, I love this.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
One of the best parts of my job, and you know this too, in the work that you do, one of the best parts of your job is when you get to see the families come back together.
Yes.
And you realize that you have just played this pivotal part in getting this family reunified to be a family unit again. That's ultimately what we work for. Yes. Unfortunately, it doesn't always happen that way, or sometimes it takes way longer than what we want.
Yes.
So if somebody listening said, okay, oh my gosh, I want to know more about CASA, and I want to know, how can I be an advocate? I love kids. Maybe we've got some older folks in our community that their kids are all grown and maybe their grandkids don't live around here. They're looking for a way they can make a difference. How would they get a hold of you?
They can email at admin, ADMIN, at the number 9, th9casa.org. They can go to our Facebook, or they can call me. The phone number is 316-284-6908.
And are you located in McPherson, or are you located in Newton?
Our office is in Harvey County.
Harvey County.
We would love an office in McPherson.
You would?
Yes. Just,
how big of a space do you need?
We just need an office for 2 of us. We'd prefer it be donated.
Yes, I hear you there. You know, that one thing nonprofits have up against them is anything you have to spend money on takes money out of your budget.
Yeah.
So we understand the donation of a place to meet. Okay, so maybe there'll be somebody that will hear this and they'll go, well, you know what? We've got a little spot in our office where you could have a room and be able to be there. If you have anything else that you would want people listening to know about CASA, what would it be?
CASA is a huge and it's a great organization. Ideally, I would love every kid in foster care to have a CASA advocate. I think it's great.
Is CASA throughout the United States?
Yep.
Everywhere?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have one more question, my magic question that I always ask everybody. I know it's not on the paper that we gave you. We like to throw a little bit.
This is an easy one.
This is
like
easy. You'll love this.
Okay.
Maybe you can help her with this a little bit.
Yes, you can donate to CASA.
Okay, yes, good.
Okay. You take monetary donations?
Okay. 100%.
Good.
Oh, my gosh. Look at that.
Was that not your question?
No, that's not. I'm going to make you think for just a second. Okay, so if you had no boundaries, let's say money wasn't an issue, people weren't an issue, what would you like to see happen with your programs? What's your dream thing? I can't believe that you haven't thought of this.
Oh my goodness. If there were no barriers.
If you had no barriers, what would you want to do in all the areas that you work, even in the state of Kansas? It doesn't have to be just your area of Harvey and McPherson. Well, what does that look like across the state? What would your dream be to be able to do?
My dream would be that every child that needed one would have an advocate, whether they're in foster care or not, and that we would be able to financially support those advocates and give them more benefits. I know advocating is hard and it's a lot of work. And I think if we can provide them with more support, I mean, we support our advocates, but it's a lot of work. And so ideally, yeah, I would love to just to be able to give them gifts or have a place for them to come and like an office where they can meet their CASA kids, because a lot of time they have to go to their homes and sometimes the homes aren't very nice. And so if we could have a space to do that and a bigger building to do trainings and have events, and ideally that'd be great.
And hopefully maybe somebody's out there listening who could provide that for you.
So do you have any upcoming events? You mentioned events. Do you have any upcoming events happening?
We are doing the Alternative Christmas Market in McPherson on the November 9th, and it's at the Cedars.
Yes, there'll be more details. I know they're working on flyers and stuff right now, so there'll be more details to come out about that as it gets closer. I know there's, a dozen nonprofits is typically what will be there. I know we participate in that as well. Gives us the opportunity for people to talk with you, figure out what you do, and then always they can give donations.
And it's nice because those donations can be used for whatever you want them to be used for. They're not designated for.
Yes, that
people don't understand that those funds that are not designated are the best. They're the best.
They are the best.
Because that maybe you can get an advocate, or maybe you need this or something for one of your kids. I love unrestricted funds.
I do too. They're nice.
Well, we are so happy that you joined us today for this little conversation. And we would just tell anybody listening, please leave us a review, give us your comments. Let us know what organizations you want to hear about, what topics you want Chris and I to talk about. You can reach us at housingforgood@mcphersonhc.org. Have a great day.